Hello everyone, it's Shauna coming to you live from her craft room in Edmond, Oklahoma. Today is August 23rd. It is 4 p.m. So let me get over here and make sure that I am going live in the right place, that you guys can see me okay. Bear with me a moment. Okay, I'm in the right place. And let me make sure you can hear me okay. Yep. Bear with me a moment. Okay. All right. Let me turn on live chat. If you are scrolling through the Facebook world and you see the live blinky button, stop by, say hi. I would love to say hi back to you. So we are using the Sunset Coast bundle or the Scenic Coast suite of products to make today's card. I'm going to do it a little bit differently than the one that you're seeing. I'm just going to use a different paper and some different colors. It's going to have the same other things, the same sizes and all that. And we'll be using the Lighthouse die cut instead of the sailboat. But you'll see how this card comes together. It's really easy. It's one of the easier cards. I hope you guys are enjoying the Scenic Coast series. This is number 4, the 4th video that I've done using this suite of products. Next week's video will be Sunday at 4 p.m. as well. That is August 30th. And I'll be wrapping up this series. So when I wrap up a series, you guys get to see all the cards that I have made using just this suite of products. I have over 25 different card ideas and styles using this suite of products. So you'll definitely want to tune in for next week's live so that you can see all the different things that you can do with just this one suite of products. It is my favorite suite in the catalog, the current catalog. So there was a lot going through my head and I wanted to make sure that I did all the cards to show you everything. So I didn't want you guys to miss out on any of it. Let me do some housekeeping as people are popping on, trying to find me. And then we'll come back to that. All right. So, you know, Stampin' Up! Offers 3 levels of creativity. We do have something for everyone. Our kits, which are the step-by-step instructions, are great for beginners, but to be honest, I love our kits and I'm definitely not a beginner. Sometimes it's just nice to sit down and play with a kit and not have any thinking involved. So I think our kits are great for everybody at every different level. The kits can be found at stampinup.com. We have 3 different kinds. We have the brown box kits. We get 2 of these new kits every month. Some are card kits, some are home decor, some are scrapbooking. So we offer different ones, but you get at least 2 different kits every month. So they are constantly rotating in and out. The 2 new kits that came out for August were the Crafted Blooms kit. It was a great floral kit. And then the other one was this whimsical whimsy witch hat kit. So this was definitely some home decor. Now it is a felt hat. You could wear it, but it is meant for home decor. So those are the 2 new kits for the month of August. Hello, Mom. How are you? Thank you for commenting so that I know that Facebook live chat is working. The other kit that we have is the monthly subscription kit. These, you do have to subscribe and become a member. They come to your door every month. and they're kind of a surprise. We get little sneak peeks, but we don't ever really get to see exactly what the kits are. In fact, this is the one that we just got this past week. This was called Kindred Greetings. There's a lot of white in this kit, so I'll be changing that. I like a little bit of more color, so we'll see what I can come up with. But they are beautiful. I do love the sentiments. That's kind of a close-up. I love the laser die cut. Too much white, so I'll be changing those up a little bit. All right, the sneak peek for the upcoming paper pumpkin is the Aspens of Gratitude. This is the one that you have to subscribe between the month of August 11th and September 10th. I love fall, so I love the colors in this kit. Hello, Lisa, how are you? Thanks for stopping by and watching. I appreciate it. Love the fall colors, love the watercoloring. I think these are going to be simple and elegant, and of course, perfect for Thanksgiving and for being thankful and just telling people how much you appreciate them. So there is a set of dies that go with that kit. For the month of September, it's this leaf one. The add-on dies are good for 3 months, so they come out with a couple of different dies to go with the 3-month kit. So these were good for the July. That was the Bike and Blooms. This is good for the month of August, which is the one I just showed you, the Kindred Greetings, and then the one for the Aspens of Gratitude for September is going to be the leaf. So item 168664, it's $13 if you want to add those dies to your checkout, to your cart. Good, I'm glad, Lisa. Did you recoup from yesterday's class? That's the big question. Okay, the third kind of kit that we have is the scrapbooking workshop kit. This is an old one, but I kind of keep it so that I can show you guys. The scrapbooking workshop kits do come with everything to make 6 pages. It is 3 2-page layouts. Good, I'm glad, Lisa. So scrapbooking kits, card kits, home decor kits, paper pumpkin kits, all the kinds of kits. If you ever want to know what we have, go to stampinup.com and you can see all of those on the website. Then we also have our level 2, which is the quick and easy options, the mix and match section. Usually when I do a catalog walkthrough, I go over that section very well because it's really great for those that are at an intermediate level that don't have a whole bunch of scrapbooking supplies, and they don't want a whole bunch of supplies, but they still want to be creative and do things their own way. So that mix and match, you can buy some ephemera packs, maybe a stamp set, some embellishments. It usually comes with some card envelopes, and you can just mix them and match them and make cards very quickly and very easily. So again, that intermediate level, if you're not wanting to own a whole bunch of stuff, but you're still wanting to be creative, that's the great section for you. And then of course, level 3, creativity your own way. Anything goes. You just look through the catalog, shop online, find what you love, and just get at it. So those are our kits. I do want to make sure that everybody is remembering that we are doing our paper sale right now. This ends next Monday, so we have about a week left, August 4th through 31st. I haven't gotten on there to see what all's left because it has been going on for a month already. I'm sure we have sold out of some things, but that is the paper cell. And then of course, while you're shopping, don't forget that not only do we offer crafting supplies, scrapbooking supplies, card making supplies, but we do offer craft classes. So if you're wanting to learn new tips and tricks, if you're wanting to learn new techniques, you might want to take one of the craft classes. They also do virtual scrapbooking album retreats and virtual card making retreats. In fact, we have a card making retreat coming up between now and the end of the year. It's going to be October 1st and 2nd. If you've never done one of our retreats, they're great. You don't have to be live and do it with them, but it is a lot of fun because you can chit chat and talk and just be part of a group and interact with each other. So while you're shopping, don't forget about product of the month. This is where Stampin' Up! Comes out with one item every month. It might be a stamp set, it might be paper, it might be embellishments, ribbon. You can get that item for $5 if you're spending over $75. And let me tell you, it's not hard to spend over $75. So most of the time, you're going to be able to pick up that product of the month for only $5. Right now, it is a gorgeous set of paper called Harvest Glow. This has like a glittery, pearlized finish. I showed it off in last week's video. Very pretty, very soft. So it's going to make some great fall cards. And I don't know if it's sold out or not. I haven't looked, but I would be surprised if it hasn't or if it isn't fixing to, because everybody, I'm sure, is going to want to pick up this product of the month. And since we're almost at the end of the month, unless they came out with a whole bunch of it, and maybe they learned their lesson when we did the Wild Bunch stamp set, because that sold out about midway through the month, and that's kind of where we are. So again, make sure you're putting that item in your cart for only $5. If online, you get to see all of our online exclusives, all of our kits, all of the foiling stuff is online. And then, of course, our last chance products, which are our discounted products, those can be found online. And everything that's in our current catalog is online. Speaking of catalogs, September 1st, which is right around the corner, guys, we're looking at a week. New catalog. I'll be able to show that to you after the 1st. New hot foiling holiday stuff, September 1st. You guys, new online exclusives, September 1st. New kits, September 1st. New product of the month, September 1st. It's September 1st is going to be the day. You're going to want to go to StampinUp.com to shop and see it all. So, and then I also don't want to forget to mention, if you're here local, I do have my cards in a storefront. It's called Conscious Co-op. Their address is 200 South Fretz Avenue. It is on the northeast corner of Edmond Road or 2nd Street, whatever you want to call it, and Fretz. So it's across the street from a convenience store, and I want to say it's Scooters. It's a coffee shop. So if you're local and you need to pick up any of my cards, you can always shop there. They're open Monday. They're open 7 days a week. So Monday to Monday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Or you can always holler at me and you can come over to my house and shop the card rack, because I have them here as well. I want to look at the month of September. I want to talk about card class. My local card class that I offer is going to be September 9th, and it's going to be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I sent out the email to all my card club girls, so they got to see that late last night or early this morning, depending on when they were awake. So they have some choices to make. And I thought because the catalog was going live September 1st, and it is a holiday catalog, I would kind of offer a holiday variety card class. So I want a card for Halloween, a card for Thanksgiving or fall, and a card for Christmas. So for Halloween, we have the option of doing one of these faces. So we have Frankie, the skeleton, the vampire, or the pumpkin face. They can make one of those, or if they just want to make this pumpkin card, we can do a different sentiment on it than this one for fall, unless they want two fall cards. So they have a choice for Halloween, one of these or this one. You need to let me know in your email when you're responding back. The fall card that we're going to make is using this cute scarecrow guy. He is too cute. And then the Christmas card that we're going to make, we're going to use the stamp set called Christmas Crew. And this has a choice of a snowman, a reindeer, or a bear. So you'll have to let me know which character you want to make as well for Christmas, and then it'll have coordinating paper to go with it. So like if you choose the snowman, then you're going to have like a snow scene background. Or if you're going to do a bear, it's going to have more of like a lodgy look. And then the reindeer, I just picked some great little red and green paper. So the paper will coordinate with the character you choose. So again, if you're local and you're interested in making some cards, it's $15 for my card class. Or if you put in at least a $15 order with me as your demonstrator, then you can have your card class for free. So either way, $15 you can make the cards and leave, or $15 or more order and you don't have to pay for the card class at all. But again, it's going to be September 19th from 10 to 1. And I need to know by August 31st. So you have pretty much a whole week to look at your calendar if it works for you and what cards you want to make. Okay, I think that's all the housekeeping, all the announcements. It looks like I'm kind of having some internet issues. It's cutting in and out on my end. Hopefully it's staying continuous for you guys. I hope you're not seeing like I hope I don't lose you guys for some reason. That would not be good. Okay, so this is the card that we're going to make today. Again, we have this week and next week that we're going to wrap up this Scenic Coast suite of products, or the Sunset Coast bundle. And I'm going to do this die set. Has 3 main dies, and we used this die set for card class yesterday, but it comes with a lighthouse, it comes with a sun rays, and a sailboat. So here's the sailboat version of this card. And today I'm going to do the lighthouse version of it. So I'm going to change it up a little bit, change the colors, but I think you guys are going to love it just as much. So the first thing that we want to do, I want to show off this beautiful pack of paper. I've almost used every single bit of it. It comes with 48 sheets, and there are 6 different designs. So you get 8 pieces of each design. And this paper has some great foiling on it for the waves, the ocean. So each one of these has that iridescent foil look on the bottom. But here's this one. And then Give me just a second. Here is this one. And again, there's that. This paper, I'm just telling you, it is so beautiful. The camera doesn't do it justice. There's this one. Can you just imagine being out on a sailboat and getting to see that? Oh, there's this one. This one. And this one. Now I will have to say, this one right here is probably my least favorite. However, I have found a way to jazz it up. You can definitely, any of our scene paper, so when I talk about our scene paper, if you guys can remember, let me grab them real quick. The papers that are like this. Do you guys remember these paper packs right here? I think one of them was called Thoughtful Journey. And then there was this pack of paper right here with all the fall stuff. You guys can stamp on these papers to make little scenes. So this piece of paper right here, look. Does that not just change it up completely? So this is the card that we're going to make next week. And this is just by pulling out some old tropical stamp sets and stamping on top of this beautiful paper. Now I will have to say, you have to be mindful of the iridescent foil on the water. You can see that's where I put my sentiment, and I didn't do any stamping. You can't really stamp on that, it wipes off. Now you could heat emboss on it. Awesome paper. Yes, I think so too, Mom. And even though this piece is not my favorite because it doesn't have all the pretty clouds and the little sun, I still think you can make it even better than this. So hope you agree with me, but again, we'll do this card next week for next week's Facebook Live. Again, next Sunday, August 30th at 4 p.m. And then I will also go over the 25 different types and styles of the cards that I have made using this wonderful pack of paper. This card right here actually uses this piece. And all I've done is I've gone ahead and stamped my own little sun here, because in this stamp set is a sun. There's also this really neat cove. So you could use some of this, but don't forget about any of those stamp sets that you have that have anything to do with tropical, palm trees, lighthouses. I have so many of them, and I will go over the different stamp sets. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them that I'm looking at right now that you could use to just stamp on this paper and create your own scene. So, all right, that's the gorgeous paper. I wanted to talk about that. Oh, and not that you would want to use, but here are the backs of those paper. I always show you both sides of paper, but you know, let's be honest. That's the showstopper. Why in the world would you use that? But you could. Alrighty, let's get to crafting. That's enough chatting, I believe. Okay, so again, this card is going to be really, really easy. I'm just grabbing my stuff out of my little folder, my little tray here. So I'm going to actually use this piece of paper, and I'm going to tell you guys a little tip trick. If you are trying to figure out like where you want your sun, so like the lighthouse actually sits on this side of the paper instead of this sailboat that sits on this side. So if you're trying to figure out how you want to cut your paper, to not waste paper, if you take a piece of plastic wrap off of, say, this paper pack, your paper comes with plastic, and you cut that down to, this piece right here measures 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. So if you cut your little window sheet, transparency, plastic, anything like that that's clear, if you cut that down to size, then you can take that and put it over your paper and know exactly where you're gonna, where your sun's gonna lie and what you're actually gonna get for that card instead of guessing. So just an easy little tip trick there. Okay, I'm gonna take Strawberry Slush. This is what we are using as our back cardstock, our base piece. So on this one I used Gorgeous Grape. And again, this is just a half a sheet of 8 1/2 by 11 piece of paper. So I've cut it in half, and then I've scored it in half at 4 1/4. And it's your typical A2 standard card size that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when you're done. So I'm going to emboss this, and I'm going to use the Soft Waves 3D embossing folder. This is a, again, 3D embossing folder. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This Mambo Jumbo thing takes up the whole screen, so I apologize. I'm going to take my card base, my cardstock, and I'm going to lay it in here to where I'm only doing this half, and I'm using that score line. So let me get this in here real quick so that I can see. So to make sure. And I'm just, all I'm doing is I'm taking this score line and I'm lining it up with the edge of that folder. That's all I'm doing. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it through like this. So I've got my base plate 1, then my plate 2, my plate 3, my embossing folder with another plate 3. I'm going to put that through. Actually, no, I'm not. I don't know what I'm thinking. Erase all of that. When you're using a 3D embossing folder, all you need is plate 1, your embossing folder with your cardstock, and your plate 4. This is your 3D embossing plate. This is how we're going to create our sandwich and run it through. Sorry if I'm bouncing all over the place. I'm trying not to. Okay. Move that over. And then when you open this up, such an easy thing to do, and it gives your paper such a wow factor. I love embossing, whether it be heat embossing, dry embossing. I love embossing. It adds so much pizzazz to your card in a matter of seconds. I'm going to reach across the camera. Sorry about that. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to fold this over. Line this back up. And burnish that fold down. Now we have our typical size card. Okay, we're going to put that out of the way while we work on the main part of our card. And again, I'm going to take a piece of 3 1/4. So it's 3 1/4 this way by 4 1/2. So 4 1/2 on the landscape side, 3 1/4 wide. And we're going to take the lighthouse die, this die right here, and we're going to put that smack dab in the middle of our card. Now there is one thing that you want to be a little bit careful of with this lighthouse die. It's very easy for this lighthouse to kind of get tilted a little bit. So let's make sure that we have it up nice and straight. We don't want a tilted lighthouse. And then this is where we are going to take our plate 1, our plate 2, plate 3, our die, and our paper. Again, basic black. Make sure that that lighthouse is in the middle. We're going to take another plate 3 and run it through. Yeah, Mom, it gives a lot of bang for your buck. Embossing folders are very inexpensive, and it gives a wow factor for sure. Okay. So now we're going to take our die out, and I'm going to put my die back on my magnetic sheet so I don't lose it. If you guys have ever seen a picture of my desk after a card class or a live video, they call it crafter math for a reason. Everything is everywhere. I'm going to poke out with my little pokey tool, or your take your pick tool, all these little pieces. That's all trash. Get all of that out of here. Okay, so we have our beautiful lighthouse. And now we're going to take our piece of paper, our designer series paper, and I'm thinking that really this fits perfectly, so I am just going to cut my paper. I just want this corner of it. So I think that lays on there very nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that down. And we're really just wanting it shy of this black square. So again, this was, I believe 4 1/4 by, no, it was 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. So we probably want to go like a little under that on this piece right here. So what I'm going to do is turn it this way, and so we had 4 1/4, so I'm going to go like 4 1/8. And then it was 3, you know what, it was 4 1/2. I think that's still okay. I'm confusing myself. So 3 1/4 is what it was. So I'm going to go a little under and go 3 1/8. Just as long as this hides behind that black square, and I think it still will. Yeah. So again, that was 4 1/8 by 3 1/8. Okay. And all you have to do on this, okay, so you have a decision to make on this. And this is just really depending on how persnickety you want to be. Thanks to my wonderful husband. So, to me, you could put this on here, and it doesn't bother me too much that these rocks that this lighthouse is sitting on shows through. However, my husband, of all people, was like, Shauna, that's not right. You can't do that. So what I did to make him happy was I took my die on a piece of paper, for instance, a black piece of paper, and I just placed my die down here, and then I traced where these rocks were. And I cut out this piece right here. And this piece, if you'll notice, will cover up your rocks perfectly. And this little cutout right here is so that you don't see the rocks in this window of the house. So anyway, completely up to you if you want to take it to the next notch or not, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it since I've already cut it. But you're just gonna layer that back behind there, and then you're gonna notice, actually it goes this way. Give me just a second. I'm trying to line it up so that you guys can see. I'm going to cut a little bit more off of this piece right here. Let me grab my scissors. Looks like I missed cutting it a little bit. Now let me lay it up there. Okay, so it covers the rocks, but it does not cover the bottom window of the lighthouse and the little house. Does that make sense? That is up to you. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna turn this over and glue. This is the green capped mono Tombow adhesive glue. I just have it in a little precision tip bottle because a little bit of this glue goes a long way, and if you're not careful, then you've got glue everywhere and a big old sticky mess on your hands. So let's see if Shauna can line this up without getting glue everywhere. I am not a fan of the green capped glue, I'll be honest, because I'm messy with it. I do prefer a tape runner, a dry glue is what we call it, just because I don't have to worry about getting it everywhere. Okay, so there is my covered rocks. So now when I lay this on here, you cannot see the water peeking through. So now what you can do is just go ahead, take whatever glue you love. So I'm going to take my tape runner because I love a good tape runner. And I'm going to put my adhesive on the back of this. And I'm going to make sure that none of it is peeking around the edges. If so, just fold it back on itself. I also like a good tape runner because it is a little bit more forgiving when you use that green capped glue. It's a wonderful glue. In fact, if you're trying to pry it back up off of something, like if you don't lay it down straight and you're trying to move it, it's down. You're probably gonna rip some paper trying to move it. Whereas my tape runner, I can pull it back up. I have a little bit of extra, to me, wiggle room. You can go in here and put some wet glue, some green glue down on your lighthouse if you want. To be honest, I think what I'm gonna do is take a mini dimensional. So I'm pulling that out. And I may actually, I think this will work. I'm gonna see if I can, I don't know, hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm gonna pull this back and I might actually wanna cut this. This might be too big. I'm going to grab my Tim Holtz scissors. These are good for sticky things. And I'm just going to cut that in half, that little mini dimensional. And I'm going to pop this. Again, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Let me do it and then I'll show it to you. I'm going to pop a little dimensional right there. And so that will give this lighthouse some lift. If I can get the backing of that dimensional off. There we go. And now it looks, it's not flat on there. It pops it up a little bit and just gives it a nice 3D look. Okay, so we're going to take this and put this on our card right here with some big dimensionals, the regular dimensionals. This will also just make sure that your paper back here does really stay on, that it doesn't move. And I don't want this sagging in the middle, so I'm going to put some here in the middle for some extra support. Now the worst part about a card is taking off all of the backings on the dimensionals. Sometimes they play nicely, sometimes they do not. Doesn't seem to be too bad today though. They're coming off pretty easy. Sometimes you can get a pack of those and it's like, really? Okay, I'm going to stand up, do a little eagle eye. I'm looking down on top of it to make sure that I'm getting equal amount and that I'm straight. That looks, I'm just going to pull it a little bit. That's what I get. There we go. I don't know if you can see how that lighthouse just gives a little bit of a lift and a little bit of a shadow dimension there. It's the little details like that that just make your card pop. Okay, so I am going to pull out an old die set that I love. This is Thoughtful Expressions. It came with a hummingbird set. But I love these right here, especially if you put a circle in the middle. So if you stamp on a circle and then layer the circle on top of this, these little pieces just poke out around it. And you'll see that in some of the cards that I'll show you next Sunday. But we're going to use a stamp. As saying, give me just a second, I'm trying to grab it. I thought I had it. But I must have put it, oh no, it's right there. Okay. This says, hope you find a little paradise wherever you may be. And it's from an old stamp set called Paradise Palms. I loved the font. I loved the palm trees. So just pulling something out from my arsenal. And I'm going to actually pull out a piece of Timid Tiger. This was the in color for 24 to 25. I'm trying to make sure it's last year's in colors. And I am going to stamp with my black Memento ink. I did recently re-ink this stamp set, so it is, or this ink pad. It is nice and juicy, so I kind of have to be a little bit careful and not get too much ink on it. That is good. And then I'm going to pull back in my cut and emboss machine one more time. If I can move all this stuff off my desk, clear a spot. Pull this thing back in. Okay. This is the residue left over from that lighthouse rock. So I'm going to take my little cake scraper. I got that out of the baking aisle, and I'm just going to scrape that off my plate real easily. And again, we're going back with the plate 1, plate 2, plate 3. The colors go good together. Thank you. I think so. I think this orange really, the Timid Tiger really pulls out all the orange from that sunset. So I'm going to put that in there. Put this down, try not to move it. Run this through. Take that off. And I just love that die. I love the stitching around it. It's one of my all-time favorite dies. I don't normally like to use retired product on a Facebook Live, but sometimes you just got to use what you love. So again, I don't know if you'd have any luck, but Thoughtful Expression die set. You might be able to find it still on eBay or anybody that has some old Stampin' Up! Stuff that they are trying to sell. There are some Facebook groups that do sell the old Stampin' Up! Stuff. I'm going to go in here and layer this right here, or you could layer it over here. To me, I think there's more area right here that I don't really care, for. So I'm going to put it right here, and I am going to put just some tape runner on there. This card already has enough pop with that dimensional. So just going to come in here, put it to where it's kind of hanging off the side. That way that brings your eye to that detail, I think. And then I'm going to use these wonderful Sunset Sparkle sequins. I'm going to use the orange. I really do love the orange. As you can tell, most of them are gone. But I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put a big one, a small one, and another little small one up here. And this gives us our triangle of 3. It brings your eye into the focal point, which is this wonderful paper with this lighthouse. And there is your card. Quick, easy, simple. It doesn't, I just love it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, come back next week for the stamping on the Designer Series paper to create a scene. Again, it's going to be a simple card. So, and then we'll wrap up our Sunset Coast series, and I will show off all the cards that I have made using this wonderful suite of products. Again, I have over cards, different fun folds to show you using this suite of products. Again, it was my favorite suite of products in the catalog, And I just really wanted to have enough time to pay a good tribute to it because I loved it so much and I had so many different ideas for this wonderful pack of paper. Again, there's 48 sheets in this pack of paper, and I think I have less than 10 sheets left. And really, that's probably because I wanted to at least keep 6 of them so that I could show you the different designs. So if I didn't keep all of those, I probably would have used all of those to make cards as well. But thank you, Mom. Thank you, Lisa. It is such an easy, simple card. You really even could take a very light yellow, maybe like a lemon lolly, and even put an extra, you know, little border mat around that to even put more color in it. So it's really up to you on how simple and how easy you want to make it. But just quick, easy, and I think beautiful. So thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you spending the hour with me, and I hope to see you guys back here next Sunday, August 30th at 4 p.m. as we wrap up the series. And then we'll be doing a new catalog walkthrough. I am so ready to show you guys the new holiday stuff in the catalog. It's beautiful and I've had fun playing with it already. It just seems like this pre-order has been on forever. I feel like I've had that catalog in my hands forever and I'm ready to show it to you guys. So I hope to see you guys back here next Sunday at 4 p.m. Have a fabulous week. Bye-bye.